last minute things I had to take care of, honey. That's what happens when you are listen, I'm the producer, okay? I'm the producer of this here podcast, all right? I am the creator, all right? I am the stylist, I am the makeup artist, I am everything, okay? Okay? Y'all listen, get into this hairstyle, all right? This is what you call it. We just blow dried it, right? We just blow dried it, and then we just put some rods in it, and then after that we just went to church, okay? And whatever happened, why we was doing all that, that's what we going with. So this is what this is called, y'all. Listen, welcome to Hood Parenting Live. There I go, there I go, there I go, y'all. Y'all know I'm the producer and everything. I got to make sure I'm live. Listen, I'm doing something different today. I'm trying a different setup. I'm trying to set up where I'm further away from everything so I can see what I'm doing. I can see myself better, y'all. Hey, look, did you miss me? Did you miss me? Look, I had to go to my mama's house, okay? I had to go to my mama's house for a couple of days. Now, yesterday was her birthday, so I was not able to go home this weekend, but I went to go see my mama last weekend. And so, happy birthday, mama. I know your birthday was yesterday, and I'm filming this today, okay? I'm recording this today, okay? But happy birthday, mama. I love you, and happy birthday. I cannot wait to plan for next year, because next year we gonna turn up, okay? Now, y'all, first, I have to say that I am extremely, 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 extremely grateful. Okay, let's toast. Listen, y'all see, I got the hood parenting glass. Y'all see, I got look hood parenting. Y'all see it, the hood parenting glass. Okay, listen, we got to toast because why? Drum rolls, please. Now, on July the 17th, let me do a little backup, okay? Because listen, we gonna settle in this celebration, right? Because that's what I gotta learn to do, right? I gotta learn how to celebrate me more. So here's what happened. Many of you got here because of my South White Underbelly interview, okay? Shout out to Mark Latham, okay? Shout out to Mark. Now, many of you got here because of my Soft White Underbelly interview. Now, when that interview aired on July the 17th of this year, my YouTube channel, because I had kind of abandoned it because I had started like several YouTube channels and I felt like I just couldn't get going. I felt like I just couldn't get, like, it seemed like it wasn't catching on. None of my channels was catching on, right? So for hood parenting, okay, hood parenting, by the time I went to the Soft White Underbelly interview, I had, I think, about 27 subscribers on my channel. And so as of October the 17th, which made exactly 90 days from when my interview aired, all right, my channel has gotten over 500 subscribers. And when I tell you I am excited and elated, but we're not going to stop there because why? We going to keep this good train of information rolling because I don't know who this is for, but I know this is for somebody. Y'all listen here, I'm a 52-year-old middle-aged woman, baby, twice divorced, okay? And when I tell you I know I got a story in me, I got several stories in me. And so here is where I am able to tell those stories and share those stories, and so that somebody can get lessons, someone can get understanding or clarity or guidance or something with some of the things I've been through or whatever, right? And so this is what this is for. And so for me to be sitting here today with over 500 subscribers, I want to say thank you to the ones who have found me and who have said, let me go and follow this girl. Okay. Also, on my other platforms, this has been an amazing couple of weeks, all right? An amazing couple of weeks, okay? On my other platform, I had a video that went viral for my content, right? Because my typical content, like I'm lucky if I get 1,000 views on my content, right? When I get 1,000 views or anything that gets beyond the 4 digits, I am elated because all I could think about again is what if that was the many people that was in the studio audience, coming to see me, right? Imagine if there was 1,000 people that come to see me and everybody paid $10 or everybody paid $20 or whatever. Like, do you understand how amazing that is? That is a room full of freaking people. And so that's how I see my views. And so I had never got anything, that was just me, myself, in the six figures by myself. Now I did some when you what they call them, stitches or something like that, where I may have talked with somebody, and when I talk with them, I'll get like more views like that because I'm stitching with somebody. But I had a video that was entitled "Hold the Line." And when I go back through to edit this video, I'm going to drop that particular video down below, the link for it, because I uploaded it on all platforms. And so on TikTok, as well as over on Facebook, that video has received over 100,000 watches. And so for me and somebody like myself, who is a small content creator, that is a huge achievement, okay? Because not only that, but on one platform, that video alone have gotten me almost 1,500 subscribers, okay? On another platform, it has gotten me over 2,000 subscribers or followers, okay? Not only that, but as of today, that particular video have been shared on one platform over 1.2 thousand times. It has over 600 comments on it. It has, I think, over 500 saves. It is my highest paid video thus far, which I'm looking at it and I believe it's almost at the 3 digits, which is that's amazing for one video for me. And so I am just like ecstatic, right? I am just ecstatic because when I tell you that I sat on my porch one day and this video was just like, I didn't even think much of it because it was just something, because I'm always thinking, okay, I'm one of them people that I think constantly and nonstop, like most people, okay? So because my brain is always moving, sometimes I just hear things, right? I just feel things, I just see things. And that particular day, I heard a message. And so um, I have been doing that lately. And I'm so thankful that I've been doing it. And I think that's how my channel and my platform has been growing, is because someone told me, I've heard, and I'm not going to say one person, I'm going to say several people have said this to me, but one particular person that I want to think that I'm thinking about, that said to me, they said, you know what you should do? When you have thoughts or when you're thinking about something, you should just go live, right? You should just go live and or record yourself. And so literally I started doing that in the last month. And in the last month, I have had, like I said, one video that has gotten over 6,000, or excuse me, six figures on views. A TikTok video or reel that my daughter and I did, that one got 6 figure on the views, and that has never happened before. And then on top of that, I mean, the interaction that I've gotten from everybody and people, and I mean, I've gotten DMs. I mean, just from that one video, again, the video was called Hold the Line, and I've gotten DMs from people. I've gotten people telling me that, I needed to hear this today. I mean, it has been like so validating, and we don't ever need validation in life. And I need you to hear me and hear me clearly. However, sometimes we want those rams in the bushes. Sometimes we want those little nuggets or those little thingies that says, hey, you're on the right track, keep going. So when things like that happen, like when you don't realize that your video is going to get the views, going to get, or get the response going to get, or you're going to get the people that's going to get the response to it, and you realize that, you know what, I didn't do anything different. All I was doing was just being myself. And so I just wanted to share that with you all, because this has been an amazing couple of weeks. And I can honestly tell you, like, October 2025 has been amazing. 2025 altogether has been amazing. I mean, I feel like all my years of my life is amazing. I mean, I might have obstacles and things that we go through like we all do. However, every year of my life has been amazing. But 2025 has just been like, when I tell you, it has just delivered me some things, some confirmations, some atta girls, and some, job well done's and things like that. Like, I just listen, I'm just grateful. I'm just extremely grateful. Okay, just extremely grateful. And so here, cheers to that, and cheers to more of the great news. Okay. And I hope that whoever is out there, this message is something that they needed to hear, because, like I said, it's been 90 days and I'm over 500 subscribers. And this is like my fourth channel. And it's like, yeah, nothing really sticked. So cheers. Okay. And so, what else have I been up to? Okay. So, something that I've been thinking about lately. I've been talking to people, and let me just say this. When I say I've been talking to people, because I'm always talking to people. But then there's times where I feel like I'm talking to a group of people that, for whatever reason, whether it's people that I'm in counsel with, or family, or friends, or just people that I meet along the way, right? It seems like sometimes I'll have interactions with people, and the interactions will all be the same. It's almost as if people are on the same journey at the same time, right? And I'm not saying that it's all the same, like it's all males or all females or all middle age or all young adults or all Gen Zs or all Gen Xers. No, it's just a little bit of everybody that seems to be going at the same pace at the same time. And sometimes they're on their life journey and they're at the same crossroads. And for whatever reason, these people will be blessed. And well, I will be blessed for these people when they come into my life, because for me, it allows me to share the gifts that I've been given. So, one of the things that I know that's been like consistent with people is this whole idea, and I did a reel about this earlier, that you are like, you're okay with certain things. Like, you counting yourself out before you even get started. Like, that's one of the things that I wanted to address on this video, like counting yourself out before you even get started. For me, I don't understand that concept. And I'm going to give an example. I was talking to someone not too long ago, and they were involved with this program where they needed to do things that were going to be challenging. And at the end of this program, they would graduate and go on to the next section, right? Or the next part of this process that they were in. And when I asked them about, what happens if they don't pass, their response to me was, well, you know what? 80% of people go through this particular school and they don't pass. Only 20% of people pass. And so if I do not pass, then it's not going to be a big deal because most people don't pass anyway. Now, someone like me, I didn't understand that, right? And I needed them to tell me exactly what they meant. And so what they were pretty much saying was that it's no offense to you. Like, you can't like, you can't get too mad about it, or can't take it too personal, because only 20%, statistically speaking, even pass. But my thought process was, but don't you want to be part of the 20% that pass instead of the 80% that don't pass? That's just me. Okay. I don't care what them other people are doing. I don't care what them 80% of people are doing. In my mind, when I go into any situation, it's just me, right? And I'm not saying that everybody is like me, but people often ask me, why do I think the way I think? And how did I get to where I'm at in life? And this is the things that I feel now. Is there a certain, like I said on the real early, is there a part of me that I suffer from bouts of grandeur? I probably do. Okay, I probably do have a little bit of ego in me. All right, like a big ego. Okay, Mm, I'm gonna go that big. Yeah, that big. Okay. But at the same time, I feel that in this life, you gotta have a certain level of ego. in order to make it. And so when the person was talking about the 20% versus the 80% in terms of pass and fail, like I told them, listen, let me tell you something. I could be getting, and I mean this, I could be getting in a race because I do run. I'm not as fast as I used to be. Okay. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. I do run. I'm not going to negate my running abilities because I'm good for 52 and I'm just going to keep it right there. Okay. But I run. Now, I've been running long distance for about 15 years or so. 15, 18 years I've been running long distance. I'm talking like anything over 5 miles. I've been doing it. Okay. In my mind, if I show up to a race and Flojo or Shakira Richardson or somebody else is at the race, listen, I don't care nothing about that. Okay. Even at this age, I'm going to look to the left and I'm going to look to the right and I'm going to look at them and be like, Shakira, you better bring it. Okay. And I'm going to look at Flojo. All right. I'm going to look at Flojo. I know, but I'm going to look at her and be like, girl, you better bring it. Because why? I'm going to bring it. All right. I don't count myself out of nothing. I don't care about anybody's skills, anybody's abilities. Why? Because I'm going to bring my best. And what I do know is that you never know what may happen. Okay. You never know what might happen. Like I watched, bless her heart, the one girl that was in the Olympics and she was running and she was winning and she hit that hurdle. And when she hit that hurdle, baby, that was it. She didn't win no more. And her heart was broken. Okay. I seen it. I was broken with her. But at the same time, what I do know is that what's meant for you is meant for you. And so do I show up like I'm going to do my best because I am? Yes. Is there a possibility that I'm not going to win? Absolutely. But then there's sometimes I show up and I do win, right? Sometimes I show up and I do get the trophy. I can show you them. Sometimes I show up and guess what? I'm the fastest person there. And I'll be like, well, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Right? Because that's the attitude I went in with it. I never go in with the idea that I'm going to go in and I'm going to lose or I'm going to lose by somebody. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Right? And so I don't know who this is for, but again, I know all my messages for somebody. So anything that you do, I don't care what it is. I don't care what the competition looks like. I don't care what you feel, how their advantages is over you. You don't know because you don't know what it is that's meant for you until it's for you, right? That girl that won in that Olympics, where that other girl failed, baby, let me tell you something. That didn't negate her gold medal. I tell you that. That didn't negate her gold medal because that girl was going to win that gold medal until she fell over that hurdle when that other girl won. Them other girls got pushed up. Baby, and I tell you what, she didn't say, well, I only won because Marion Jones fell. Hell no. She said, I got the gold. I got the gold and that's it. Because why? All of it matters when you run it. So when you running, you got to make sure that your performance and that your rhythm and that your speed and that everything that you are and that you need shows up. And if by chance at any time you take a shortcut or something don't show up right, baby, guess what? You're going to fall on that hurdle. Okay, you're going to fall on that hurdle and that other person going to win. Listen, you just got to do better next time. That's it. It just wasn't for you. And as a person that's an opponent, that's why you have to go in thinking, you know what? I'm going to win. I don't care who is at the race. Baby, I don't care who is at the race. I don't care who is at the race. I'm going to win. These lights keep flickering, okay? This going to make me think I'm losing my mind. Okay, let me adjust here. Okay? I don't know if that fixed it, but listen. So I wanted to touch on that. Let me stand up and fix this because listen, y'all know I'm the production, I'm the crew, I'm the cameraman and woman. I'm everything, okay? I do everything. Maybe this thing going out. I do everything. There we go. I do everything. Okay. So listen, y'all, listen. And I'm not even going to edit this part out because I am live. This is Hood Parenting Live. And listen, while you are here, if this is your first time here, hello and welcome. Listen, I didn't have a chance to introduce myself. My name is Yashika and you are watching Hood Parenting Live on YouTube. Okay. This is my official platform. This is my official platform where I get to come and tell y'all all the things that y'all need to know about life, right? Listen, pick up what you need to pick up, leave behind what you need to leave behind. But at the end of the day, you're going to get some raw, true and tried information. Okay. Things that I've been through, things that I've experienced, things that I've seen, because I feel like I've lived many lives. I feel like I've lived many lives. Now, if I need to give you guys my bio, I will. But I feel like I've lived many lives. Okay. And for those who know what I mean, know what I mean, honey. Okay. If you know, you know. All right. HP. Okay. If you know, you know. Good parenting. So listen, another thing that I want to talk about is this is something that I was going to address by real, but I have not done that yet. But I want to talk about it here. I'm noticing, just like with that reel that I created, Hold the Line, that people are in despair. And that's why that reel has such a profound effect on everybody. That message that I put out, that 3 minute video has such a profound effect on everybody because it happened during that reel was published, or that video was published when there was a lot of things going on in the world, right? They're still going on. But we were literally at the beginning of the government shutdown and people not knowing what, right? And so what I also notice is that people are in so much despair to the point where they are angry, and they're angry to the extreme where they are jeopardizing their safety. They are jeopardizing their safety. Now, for understanding, I am a legit concealed and carry. Okay. I am a legit concealed and carry. And 99.9% of the time that you see me, she is somewhere not too far. Okay? Okay? I am a middle-aged single woman that walks in a world with an 11-year-old daughter. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. And I understand that even with a husband, he still can't be with me all the time to help save me. So I got to make sure I can save myself. Okay? And my 11-year-old. Now, with that being said, so one day I'm driving down this street, this area of my town where you have your shops and you have your Kroger's, and then you go down further, you have your car dealers, the fancy ones, that kind of area, okay? And so as I'm going down this road, I'm going passing a part on the road that intersects, or should I say, yeah, that intersects with a part of the people that's coming off of the turnpike, all right, which is what we call the turnpike, which is like a secondary road here in this area. So you're able to come off, and then when you come off of that ramp, you merge onto the traffic that's going down that road in this populated area. Now, when you come off of the highway, as soon as you come off, there's not maybe a block or half a block up City Street where there's a shopping center over to the left. And so sometimes you will have people coming up on there and they'll immediately try to merge over to the left so they can turn up in that first shopping plaza. I don't know. Well, let me say this. This isn't what this car was doing. Why? How I know this is because we ended up meeting at 2 lights down. Now, let me back the story up. And while I say people are so angry until they are responding to the point where they have no regard for their safety. Okay. So when this car came up off the highway, apparently they didn't see me as I'm going straight. And so when they come off, they almost or jackknife me, right? Or sad swipe me, right? On my passenger side. Okay. And the way that it happened, it was such a slow motion moment that it was as if something happened and something just picked my car up and moved it out the way. That's all I can see. It's just like something just picked my car up and moved it out the way. And we like passed each other like this. You know what I mean? It was so trippy. And so once I got down, because again, there was a light right here, and that light was green. So we were able to go straight at that point. I'm tripping like, oh my God, like literally, like, what was you thinking coming off the road like that? So I'm like, by this time you're fussing, right? You're in your car fussing, to the person because you're driving and you're alongside of each other because now this person is on my left. Okay. So they raised down their window, I raised down my window. So at this point, we're coming to another stoplight where now this time the stoplight is red. So again, this person has came around and they're on my left side, which means that I'm more aligned with I'm more, more together with their driver's door than I am them. So they would have to walk all the way around. And this is what this person did. And this is what I found out, that it was a young woman. And so the way that she stopped, she didn't stop directly next to my car where our cars lined up. She kind of stopped alongside of me at the light where she had space between her car and the car that was in front of her. This young girl got out of her car and came around to my door, huffing and puffing at me. I have no idea what was being said. All my thought process is that this girl then got out of her car. Okay? Now, hood parenting. I'm straight up from Detroit. Okay? I'm straight up from Detroit. Now, I'm not negating anybody and where they come from, but what I am saying is that I have a fight first mentality. That's the mentality that I have first, a fight first mentality. So just as I'm coming to this light, I'm unbuckling my seatbelt to get ready and get out, and I'm literally pulling down my compartment in my car. And I'm going to open my door. I'm doing all this in one swift move while this person is coming out of their car and walking around. Just as I'm opening up my door, they push my door to prevent me from actually, or she, now there was a young girl, she pushed my door to prevent me from coming out. And then she hurried up and scooted her ass back to her car. Just as I'm doing that, she's getting that. Now I didn't open the door again because now I'm really ready to get out the car. And when I got out the car, I didn't have anything in my hand, but I guess you can see by my demeanor, right? Because I'm not a small woman at all. I'm 5'7", 170 pounds. I work out every day, and I am I work out every day, and I used to be a powerlifter. So we're gonna leave that there. So my presence is very, very. If I'm in an environment, a person knows I'm there because I have a very statuous presence. I have a very I have a very stern presence, right? And so when I got out the car, I guess now the passenger, which was the one that was with her now, it was a guy, I realized. He got out, was like, yo, ma'am, listen, we are sorry. It was a misunderstanding. And then that's when I proceeded to say some things. By that time, she had got back in the car. Now, we are at a light. We are at a 4-lane street light, a busy part of town, because throughout this whole particular road or this street is shops and restaurants and car dealers. So we're not talking about a suburban area. We're talking about a highly populated area, which means that anything could have happened in that moment. And this girl got out of her car, right? Now, mind you, she almost hit me. And so I say all this to say that people are really, really angry to the point that they are disregarding their safety. And we have to be smarter than that. There are people that I'm reading on the news where there are things that are happening. They're literally like they're reacting. They're not thinking about things that they're doing. They're literally reacting. And because people are already here with life and then something happens and it just sends them overboard. And unfortunately, a lot of people are affected and people are not taking those things into consideration. And so I just wanted to say that because, like I said, even though I didn't get out the car with anything, I still felt like my life could have been in jeopardy because I know where I'm from. There are instances where people literally set people up like that, a lot provoke them, and then they get out the car only to be hijacked or carjacked, only to be carjacked or whatever. Right. And it's like I got out the car. So now I could become a threat because I'm out the car. Whereas that me staying in the car made me less of a threat. So now anything that happens, she's totally the one that's at fault because she came to me. But in that instance, I was more or less like, I couldn't believe this girl had actually pushed my door. But I saw in her face the anger. It was like she couldn't have been no more but in her mid to late 20s. And I saw in her face the anger because it just wasn't about she almost hit me. There was something else that was going on. and I'm glad that the gentleman that she was with, or the guy that she was with, actually stepped in and was like, yo, listen, it was a misunderstanding. Listen, you have a good, he literally said, ma'am, you have a good day. Like, he was like, listen, let's go. He was like, this is ridiculous, because I mean, he looking at me like, really, we doing this in the middle of the road, girl? You done got out your car. Where I'm from, you don't do things like that. Where I'm from, you don't get out your car and do things like that. And so I don't care how much life is going on, because life is lifing for everybody. No one's exempt from life lifing. Because I'm telling you, you could be doing a million and one things and just at your best of best. Because that don't mean that anything else, all things else ain't going in the background. Because trust me, even in all the beauty of this week, even in all the beauty just this week, my daughter just got put back in school for causing a disruption, right? For being suspended, right? And so it's one of those things where I have to deal with that. So it's like, just because you got all these other things going on, life is still life. Because I'm looking at her like, girl, you better get it together. You better get it together. Okay, I'm not one of these young mothers. Okay, I'm not one of these young mothers, girl. I don't believe in, look here. Listen, honey. And then you had them people at my door. I don't need them people at my door. I need you to get it together. You know what I'm saying? My older children ain't never got suspended. Ain't never got suspended. And she just hit middle school. Y'all watched the video I said where the girl just hit middle school this year. She just hit middle school and already she done got suspended. So my thing is, listen, honey, listen, we doing this already? And not once, but twice. You heard that right. Not once, but twice. Okay. Now, the first time it was like, whatever. But the second time, wait a minute now. It was you too then. Like, okay, now it wasn't as innocent as I thought it was the first time. If you done something else, at least that's how I'm feeling now. But hopefully now she done got it together. Okay, we all got a plan. We all helping her out. All right, she just 11 now. I understand she going through some things. You know what I'm saying? It's, those are the repercussions, the ramifications for being, things happen in terms of, I don't know what happens to children who are born to parents who done things, right? And so her being, where her mom was doing different things when she was pregnant, I don't know the effect that it may have had on her, but I do know that I'm doing all the things that I can to put it into place. But I also know that at some point it's her too. Okay, so I have to find that balance between when she's acting out for these reasons, or if she's just, just doing this because of other reasons. And so no matter how much education I may have in this area, no matter how much, experience I have in this area, when it's your own child, I can't be an expert and a mom. And so what I can do is go ahead and find the resources and get her the help that she needs, so that somebody else can be a third party in this, so that it's just not me, because I want to understand. I want to understand, where is the line drawn, right? Where is the line between if it's this or if it's that? Okay, because if it's that, where I just want attention, okay, I just want attention, then we're going to handle that another kind of way. Okay, now if it's something else that I don't have any, that she can't control, then we'll get her the help that she needs in according. Okay, we're playing according, right? Because that's everybody's process of life is different. Okay, and I want to be understanding of that, right? I want to, in this era of me, in my 50s and raising a daughter, right, as a single mom, I'm no longer married like it was when I had my boys. Raising a daughter as a single mom, right, where she gets all her life lessons from me. Like, I'm not saying that teachers or grandparents or siblings or anybody don't teach her anything. I'm not saying that, but majority of her life lessons and what she learns going forward, she's going to get from me. And so I want those things to be things that she can literally grow from. Those things that I can really, really, like, I don't want it to always be where I'm like this, but at the same time, I also know that as she get older, I'm get older. We're 40 years apart. Okay. So as she get older, I get older. And so there's going to be things that I'm going to forget. And so luckily for me, we have platforms like this, right? So that not only that she can come back and look at these things, so that you can come back and look at these things, and so that you can also tell other people about these things, and even your own young adults or your own children, right? That might need guidance that you don't really understand. And so here on Hood Parenting Live is where again where I give that raw and that downright understanding, that downright, advice, that has been tried and true, like I said earlier. And so listen, if this is your first time here, I want to thank you, and let's keep going in terms of subscribers, right? Because now the next goal is to get to 1,000, so that then I can get the hours and the amount of subscribers, so that I can become monetized, honey. So that I can become monetized, right? Because when I tell you this is one of my things, one of my dreams is to finally have my own platform where I can have a voice, where I can give knowledge, where I can express things that I wish that I had known, things that I didn't know, things that I learned the hard way, things that I saw other people learn, like just things that I want to share. And if by chance you come across this channel and you're like, you know what, I need some hood parenting, okay? And why I call it hood parenting? Listen, let me explain why I call it hood parenting. I have many degrees. I have 3 degrees, and even my master's degree is in marriage and family counseling. However, I also spent 25 years in the Army, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I was raised by a teenage mother and an absentee father, okay? And so my mother was on welfare in the majority of my life. A lot of what I did in life and where I'm at now, I learned from growing up in that hood environment, right? That environment where you had to survive, you had to be smart, you had to outlast, because why? Not everybody made it out the hood. And it's just that simple. Everyone doesn't make it out of anywhere. But the ones that do, right? The ones that are able to make it up out of there, the ones that are able to survive and make it up out of there, listen, there's only a few. And so for me, I'm one of those lucky ones. I was able to, I'm sorry, blessed ones. I was one of the ones that did not become a statistic. But what I also know is that the lessons that I learned in the streets helped me with the military. The military and the street lessons helped me with where I'm at now in life, because I knew that I just couldn't be pretty. I knew that I just couldn't be smart. I knew that I just couldn't be talented. I knew that I just couldn't be things like these things. I had to be all things. I had to be all things, right? I had to make sure that I had, degrees, and then I had to have my licenses over here. Like I have a cosmetology license to make sure if this don't work out, that don't work out, right? And then on top of that, I have to make sure that I'm strong mentally, emotionally, physically, all the things. Why? Because I'm constantly tested. Right? As a woman that walks in this world, I am constantly tested, whether I walk with a husband or not. I am constantly tested. Why? Because I have a big personality. Okay, because I have a big personality, because I have things I want to say, and not everybody wants to hear it. And so there are people who will come at you and do certain things. And so for me, I'm just strong enough. And I feel like my shoulders are strong enough, my brute, the things that I've been through. And so I also know that it's all those parts of my life that allows me to sit here as a 52-year-old woman, and who once has endured the things that I've endured, and able to sit here whole, right? And healed. Okay, because I was never broken. I just had to understand my pieces. That's it. No one is broken. You got to understand your pieces. You got to understand how this piece was put into place for this piece. You got to understand how these things are put together, and you went through these things to get to here. Like, I'm sorry that life is not perfect. I'm sorry that some things that we go through in life is going to be more detriment for some than others, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that some people's struggles are like what? Because, I'm sure you got these rich kids like Blue Ivy in Northwest, right? They'll say, well, my mother and father was never at home because they were multimillionaires and they had to go work. And you're looking at them, but your parents was rich. Okay, right? But here's the thing, that's their woes. And you can't negate their woes, because no matter what happens, many things can be true at one time, right? And so now that you understand, when you start to understand your pieces, and you understand that you were never broken, you are always whole, you just now understand your pieces. You understand why you walk through this part alone, or you understand why you this happened, this setback happened that you thought was a setback, but it actually was you getting put into that doggone boomerang, right? You know how when you in that boomerang, right? And you know how when you have that fish that what is it, like a fish? What is it? A wishbone. That's how I see a boomerang, right? So a boomerang is like, you know, those, you put the rock in there. So the stick is like this, the fish bone is like this, and so you put like a rock in the middle of it, and it got that rubber band on it, and you pull it back, right? So sometimes that's what that setback is. That setback is that pull on that on that not that boomerang. What is that thing called? Uh oh God, I can't think of the name. It's little the kids like when you pull back, it has like the pop, you could put it in. I don't even know what it's called. Somebody tell me below what it's called. But you know, one of those kids toys, when they put you in that kids toy where you got the wishbone shot shaped thing with the rubber band in it, and they put a rock in there or something like that, and you pull it back and it pops out and it hits something, right? Sometimes your setback is that pullback that you're ready to be pushed out, right? Sometimes that pullback is that push out. That's all that is. And you don't even realize it. You be like, oh man, because you're soaring. You're like, here I was, took 2 steps back, and I didn't know why I was taking 2 steps back. You wasn't taking 2 steps back. What you was doing, you was being pulled back in that rubber band. Okay, because now guess what? You've been shot 10 steps forward. And so I don't know who this message is for, but I know this is for somebody. And so once you understand that, and you understand that your pieces are what helped you to get to who you are today, you can understand how to use them to your advantage. And that's it. That's it. That's all. So listen, this has been an amazing Hood Parenting Live, and I cannot wait to bring you guys more stories and more good information. And just listen, we just shooting from the hip around here. Listen, we're not following script. We're not doing nothing. I realize when I use my voice and just say what's on my mind, the people want to listen, and for that I'm thankful. And so thank you. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.